Okay, go. All right, so we're going to graph y equals sine x. And we're going to graph y equals cosine x. Same as what you just did. We're going to graph what's called one cycle. Okay. Or one period, and we'll talk about a period in a minute. One cycle or one period for each of these graphs is 0 to 2 pi. So the period for sine is 0 to 2 pi. The period for cosine is 0 to 2 pi. Okay. From your unit circle, gang, what's the highest and the lowest that sine goes? Yeah, so let's go 1 and lowest. Okay. 1, -1. Next thing you do is once you know your period, all is good. All you have to do is do your halfway points. Okay? So half of 2 pi, gang, is, and half of pi is pi over 2. And once you have that first tick mark of pi over 2, then all the other tick marks will be counted. You just count. 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2. So each tick mark is another pi over 2. So 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2. Next one, gang. There you go. So same over here. Pi over 2, 3 pi over 2.
So are those the only ones that we're going to do?
No, we're going to have other periods. And we're going to deal with that today already. Okay? Sine starts down. At the first tick mark, we're up at 1. At the next tick mark, we have an x-intercept. Next tick mark down at 1. Last tick mark, x-intercept. A sine curve and a cosine curve always go like that. Hill, x-intercept, valley, x-intercept, hill, x-intercept, valley, x-intercept, hill, x-intercept, valley. Or max, mins, they call them maxes or mins. All right, then go ahead and fill in your curve. Okay? Cosine starts where? Up or down? Up. First tick mark, we're coming down to an x-intercept. Next tick mark, valley. Next tick mark, x-intercept. Next tick mark, hill. So hill, x-intercept, valley, x-intercept, hill, and it'll keep going. Same. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about some of the vocabulary. So I would say leave about 3 lines of space underneath here before we talk about some, maybe 4 lines. We're going to talk about the 5 key points. And many times, guys, after you graph, we're going to ask for the 5 key points. Number 1 is amplitude. Now, does that sound familiar at all? Yeah, from Algebra 2, I assume you guys talked about amplitude. It's half the difference of maximum minus minimum. On the sine curve, the maximum is 1, the minimum is -1. So what's 1 minus -1? 2. What's half of 2? 1. So we have just discovered that the amplitude, and you can abbreviate it like that, of the sine curve is 1. What about cosine curve? 1 minus -1, so amplitude is 1. Good. Number 2. Period. How often the curve repeats itself? Okay. All right. How often do you think the sine curve will repeat x-intercept hill, x-intercept valley, x-intercept? So on the x-axis, how often will it repeat itself? Every 2 pi, yeah. So p equals, you can abbreviate period as p, 2 pi. What about period for cosine? 2 pi. A cycle, under period, a cycle is the shortest repeating portion. So this is one positive cycle of sine. This is one positive cycle of cosine. Sometimes, guys, we're going to ask you to go backwards and go into negative land. Okay? All right, number 3, x-intercepts. These you've been doing forever when you've been graphing. All those graphs that you did in Algebra 2. Finish it up, gang. Where the curve crosses the x-axis. Very good. Okay. All right, let's list them. I just write x int equals. Okay. Now these are preferably as ordered pairs. All right, Brianna, what's this ordered pair, the first x-intercept? 0, 0. Next one, Brianna. So how far over? Pi 0. And last one, Brianna? 2 pi 0, very good. Good. Mason, cosine graph. First x-intercept right there at? Careful. 0. And next one at? Excellent. Okay. Number 4. Maximums. Ordered pairs at the high points. Ordered pairs at the high points. So up here we'll write Max. Hey, Max. How did you know I was going to ask you? All right, so give me that Max.
Pi over 2.
And up at?
Oh, sorry. Wait, no, it's
Pi over 2 up at?
pi 1.
1. And I think that's it. We don't have any other maximums. Okay? All right, Hannah, what about maximums for a cosine? I believe there are 2 of them. First max is at? So over 0, up 1. Other max? Very good. Okay. All right, you know what the fifth one is then? Minimums. Ordered pairs at the low points. We'll ditto this. Ordered pairs at the low points. Okay. Jasmine, one minimum here.
3, 5, 2, -1.
Good. Thank you, ma'am. And then Miss Haley, one minimum over here.
5, -1.
Good. Okay. Now, these are the 5 key points for sine and cosine. Okay? Tangent is a whole different story, guys. So just so you know, tangent is a different story. All right, now we're ready to do some of that stuff over there to our graph. And don't fear, we're only affecting 2 things today. Okay? So we're not doing all 4 of those. All right? So next part is changing amplitude and period. Is the absolute value of A gives you the new amplitude. Okay. It is a vertical stretch / shrink. Okay. New period. Equals old period divided by B. So we're looking at changing on the board the A and the B. So we're affecting the amplitude and the period. Okay? So new period is old period divided by B. Right? And then that's all the vocabulary. Now we just graph, gang. Okay? So the rest is just graphing. So, and stuff. Amplitude equals, Matt, what is the amplitude? 4. Very good. Autumn period equals. Now, is there a B number in front of the X affecting period? No. So what's the normal period for sine? 2 pi. Very good. Off we go to graph. We're gonna do 1 positive and 1 negative cycle. So 1 pos, neg, cycle. Now, amplitude is 4. So we're going to have to stretch this puppy out a little bit. Okay? Autumn said the period is still 2 pi. So on the positive side, we have to go to 2 pi. On the negative side, we have to go to negative 2 pi. Amplitude is 4. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. Okay? Next, do your halfway points.